This is a pre-recorded podcast from Awaken with Mark. We're meeting with Jackie Cumber. She's originally from Ghana. In this particular session, she explains the origin of her dream, which was to build a special needs school, hence the title, Ghana Building a Business Dream. She covers environmental influence, family roots, dream shifting, and market research. If you're new to our channel, Awaken with Mark is about what happens when an African American family relocates to the continent. Also, for consultation or courses or guidance to begin your personal epic East African relocation, just email us at awakenwithmark@gmail.com. And now, Karibu, join us on our journey. We have Jackie Cumber from Ghana. Hey.
Hey.
Hey, Jackie.
Hi.
Let's just remind folks. So in terms of
Where I am now is not originally where I thought the direction I was going. But as it evolves, it becomes clearer and I'm actually loving it more as it evolves.
Okay, so wait a minute, go slow for me. So you're saying It's kind of shifting a little bit, is that right?
Yes, it's shifted.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing for us to learn, because people need to realize that you may start taking a step in a direction and then you realize for whatever reason that you're going to point your foot the other direction.
Yes. And I think it's important when we are talking about a dream that we realize that when we dream about something that we want to achieve, wherever we want to go, whatever we want to do, that it is shaped not only by the idea or by a want, but also by our background. And
what do you mean?
As far as where...
What do you mean by shaped by your background?
So where you are from, how you are brought up, the influences that have played a role in your life, your inspirations from childhood until, where the point that you are today actually shapes and guides you as you dream, right?
Yeah.
And so from where I am now, and I can tell you where I am now versus what I thought I was going.
Okay, go ahead.
Perhaps that might make sense. So I was born in Ghana, West Africa, and my mother migrated to the United States. My parents were divorced. My biological parents divorced when I was a child.
Okay.
And so my mother migrated to New York City, and long story short, myself and my two sisters came with her. But when she came, we were not with her. She remarried, and then we were brought up with her. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So my adopted father, my stepfather, whom most of my friends never really knew that he wasn't my real father, because of the way that he treated me and my sisters and the love that we have and within our family. Nobody really knew that we were adopted by him.
Okay.
We had his last name. When we came up, he changed our names. We had his last name. And the one thing that I want people to take away is that as a child, he told me never to forget where I came from, Ghana.
Yes.
He taught me never to forget my culture. He told me never to forget my people. And so, when you called and asked to talk with me about my dream, honestly, I realized that the journey towards a dream has been hugely influenced by him. And sadly, he passed away in 2004. But
sorry to hear that.
Oh, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think God brought him in my life for a reason, because the values that he instilled in me has really shaped my dream with that subconsciously until I've had to really analyze the aha moment, right?
Yeah.
And then I realized, that's where this came from, going back to my roots, going back to the place that I was born to build something, to develop something. And the
Wow.
dream, yes.
Okay. So, wow, yeah. Here's how I'm hearing you. So, in a person's life, there could be influences way back, and I'm not saying you did, but I'm thinking of myself and others. A person might have even forgotten. It might have been just kind of on the back burner, and then you realize why you do the things you do.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So tell us more. So you were, I paused you and you were getting into articulating what your dream is to develop and so forth.
Yeah, so originally I had a dream to open a school for children with disability, specifically for children with autism.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I remember you talking to me about that. And Marlene, my wife, actually worked with special needs children and adults.
Yes.
So
And
that
I
so,
think,
so is that
go
something
ahead.
you've done before, or you had a heart for it?
So I have a background in counseling psychology. That's my profession.
Okay.
And my career has been, my area of specialty is vocational rehabilitation counseling.
Oh, okay.
And I used to work with the youth and earlier on in my career, and it transitioned into working with veterans, and now it's working with all populations, but mostly adults with disabilities and reasonable accommodation in the workplace.
Okay.
Now, I have one of my closest friends. She's in education, and she specializes in autism. And so she actually travels around the world and hired privately to provide assistance and guidance to the world's richest who want to hide their children with disabilities.
Okay.
Wow. We have another friend who does that, as a matter of fact. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So she and I, she's also Ghanaian, by the way.
Okay.
So she and I, we have always brainstormed about doing more than our 9 to 5. Thankfully, we both truly love what we do. I think, we found our profession, and this is when, how people ask you, if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
Yes. Yes.
Well, we're doing what we love. We're doing what we want to be doing.
Yeah, you're doing it now.
We're doing it now.
That's good.
Yes. So we wanted to do more, and so she and I were supposed to, come up with a plan and build this school in Ghana, and we had brainstormed, where in Ghana, because of course, the country is huge. Where would so we did some market research, and I actually went back to Ghana to see and to observe for myself. And Ghana has a lot of schools. They even had, I didn't know this, but they even have a school for the deaf.
Wow.
I believe it's for the blind. So there are a lot of schools.
Yes.
And so the question became, well, since there are a lot of schools, how can we best help? What is the need, so to speak?
Yeah,
Because we
yeah.
don't just want to open another school.
Right.
Yeah, let me pause you there. That's a good point. Even we try to do tips at the end, but hey, tips along the way for listeners. Find out, I'm listening to you, Jackie, okay? Find out what is the need. Otherwise, you're kind of in a vacuum and you decide that somebody needs something, and that was just in between your ears, but you need to find out what is their true need. And so that's an excellent point. But go ahead.
Yes. And so that's where, the dream shifted a bit.
Okay.
So the need is actually education and resource. So then we can't provide education and resources too broad. So then we wanted to tailor it for, once again, stay with the children, but you can't service children without educating the family. So now the idea is more children with disability, focusing on autism still, and building a resource center. Now we can evolve that resource center over time once we hit the ground running and we kind of learn the lay of the land, so to speak.
Now, when you say resource
center,
so Jackie, when you say resource center, give me 2 or 3 bullets. What are some of these resources that would be provided?
Counseling, just basic counseling for the family.
Oh, okay.
Education about, the condition, how the families can better become adjusted.
So you're trying to create a holistic environment so that the child can succeed.
Correct.
Nice. Okay.
Yes. A lot of times in the, other countries outside the U.S., families don't have the resources, so the child become an outcast, so to speak.
Yes.
And actually, if they are lucky, they are alive, because most of the time, based on some of the research that I came up, when they find out the child is disabled as an infant, they get killed.
Yes, I've heard that. Yes.
So, the families that actually keep their children, it's a huge deal. And, I want to make sure that the resource center will have, what they need in order to maybe become better acclimated, function better. I don't know, whatever they need. We're going to do an assessment and identify what the need is for, the families before we recommend, a plan of whether they need counseling or whether they need, whatever resource they might need.
Okay. So where are you in the path or on the flow chart, the track of this stream?
So that's the first part of the dream.